The 2007 Pan American Games, officially known as the 15th Pan American Games, were a major continental multi-sport event that took place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, from July 13 to July 29, 2007. A total of 5,633 athletes from 42 national Olympic committees competed in 332 events in 34 sports and in 47 disciplines. During the Games, 95 new Pan American records were set, 2,196 medals were awarded, 1,262 doping control tests were performed, and about 15,000 volunteers participated in the organization of the event, which was an Olympic qualification for 13 international federations. Rio de Janeiro was awarded the Games over San Antonio, Texas, United States, on August 24, 2002, having won an absolute majority of votes from the 51 members of the Pan American Sports Organization in the first round of voting during the XL PASO General Assembly held in Mexico City, Mexico. This was the first Games held in Brazil since the 1963 Pan American Games that took place in São Paulo. According to the Rio de Janeiro Organizing Committee, the Games called for the implementation of the country's largest organizational and logistic operation ever. Bidding process. The official bid was submitted in August 2001 during the 39th Pan American Sports Organization General Assembly held in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, in April 2002, following delivery of federal, state and city government and BOC letters confirming country, state, city and Brazilian sport compliance with the applicable Games regulations. PASO announced the approval of Rio de Janeiro's bid. The bidding committee then submitted a detailed bid file for the Games. The document was prepared and developed with the assistance of funder Getulio Vargas, which had been commissioned by Rio de Janeiro's city government. In the running to host the 2007 Pan American Games, Rio de Janeiro faced off with the city of San Antonio, United States, which previously beat Houston, Miami, and rallied to become the American candidate. According to PASO statute and regulations, the host city was selected by direct voting during the XL PASO General Assembly held in Mexico City, Mexico, on August 24, 2002. The candidate city that received the simple majority of votes from representatives of the 42-member National Olympic Committees would be awarded the right to host the competition. The announcement was made by PASO President Mario Vazquez Rana. Rio de Janeiro received 30 votes against 21 from San Antonio, marked by a professional strategy that included the showing of city and project videos. Rio de Janeiro's campaign convinced the majority of voters, accounting for a total 51 votes. The 39-member Brazilian delegation erupted into boisterous celebration, celebrating the country's highest achievement in terms of sporting event, organization, medal count. To sort this table by nation, total medal count, or any other column, click on the icon next to the column title, Mascot. The organization of the Rio 2007 Games has chosen the figure of the sun to represent the event, and, in a decision never taken before, it has defined it as the single mascot of the Pan American and Para-Pan American Games, reinforcing thus the principles against prejudice and that, like the sun, sport is for all. The character reflects the characteristics of the host city and harmonizes with the graphic work developed for the logo and the visual identity of both games. The name was chosen through popular voting by internet, cellular phone messages and public ballot boxes placed around the main Brazilian cities, causing great commotion. Over 1.2 million people participated in the election, and the name Corinthians received almost half of the votes. Traditionally used in large sport events, the mascot figure serves the purpose of cheering the event, enforcing the playful aspect of sports and captivating spectators and athletes. The mascot's main choice is to transmit messages of peace, respect to the environment, friendship and brotherhood, which are intrinsic values to the Olympic movement. Opening ceremony. The opening ceremony of the 15th Pan American Games took place on July 13, 2007. Approximately 90,000 people packed Rio de Janeiro's Maracanã Stadium for the occasion. The ceremony included a cast of 7,000 and a multi-million-dollar budget being produced by Scott Givens. Over 800 people were part of the creative and production teams working on the opening ceremony, team welcome ceremonies, sports production, the presentation of 2,252 medals, sports production, the closing ceremony and Parapan ceremonies. The show began at 5:30 p.m. and lasted for 2.5 hours. The theme of the show was based on the theme of the Rio 2007 Games. Viva essa energia, and the Oath of the Athletes was performed by Brazilian taekwondo athlete Natalia Falavinha. Also, a very abbreviated version of the Olympic anthem was played. Contrary to plan, the Games were not opened by Brazil's head of state, President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, but by the head of the Brazilian Olympic Committee, Carlos Nuzman. Prior to the official opening, Lula had been constantly booed whenever the in-stadium camera showed his image or when his name was mentioned. Venues. The competitions were carried through an array of 25 kilometers, spread for 4 polar regions in the city. Marapendi Club, tennis, City of Sports Complex, basketball, cycling, artistic gymnastics, swimming, synchronized swimming, roller skating, Out Arrow Hill, cycling, Rio Centro Complex, badminton, boxing, fencing, futsal, rhythmic gymnastics and trampoline, handball, judo, weightlifting, wrestling, taekwondo and table tennis. City of Rock, baseball and softball, Barra Bowling Center, bowling, Zico Football Center, football, Miakimo da Silva Complex, football, karate, roller skating and squash, Diodra Military Club, equestrian, field hockey, modern pentathlon, sport shooting and archery, João Havelange Stadium, athletics and football, Maracanã Stadium, football, water polo and volleyball, Marina da Glória, sailing, Flamengo Park, athletics and cycling, Copacabana Arena, swimming, marathon, triathlon and beach volleyball, rowing stadium of the Lagoon, canoe, flat water and rowing, Cacaras Club, water ski. Main construction work of the 2007 Pan American Games. The João Havelange Olympic Stadium hosted the athletics and football competitions. The stadium is one of the major Games legacies to the city of Rio de Janeiro, which can since then count on a modern stadium with full capacity to be used for sports and cultural events. The City of Sports complex counts on modern constructions such as the Rio Olympic Arena, where the Games, basketball and artistic gymnastics competitions were held. The Miria Lenk Aquatic Park, venue for the swimming, synchronized swimming and diving competitions, and the Barra Velodrome, where the cycling and speed skating events took place. Rio Centro Convention Center is the largest expositions and fairs center of Latin America for the 2007 Games. The complex held temporary facilities for staging several sport disciplines, including in the Pan American Games. The Miekimo da Silva Sports Complex is the largest sports complex that is owned by a city government in Brazil. Several large sports events took place at this venue, such as the basketball exhibition game between the teams of American Magic Johnson and Brazilian Oscar Schmidt, in addition to several matches of the Brazilian futsal team. The Deodra Military Club is a traditional Brazilian Army sport facility in Rio de Janeiro. Will host the Rio 2007 Games equestrian, field hockey, modern pentathlon, sport shooting and archery competitions. The Maracana Stadium was built for the 1950 FIFA World Cup. The Mario Filho Stadium is one of the most famous stadiums in the world, receiving a great number of Brazilian and foreign tourists annually. The stadium staged the opening and closing ceremonies and football matches, including the finals. The Maracanazinho Gymnasium is the house of the Rio 2007 volleyball competitions. The Julio de la Mare Water Park is the stage for the water polo tournament in the Games. The Maracana Sports Complex also includes the Cílio de Barros Athletic Stadium, and it is administered by the Rio de Janeiro state government. Also known as Ataro de Flamengo, the Flamengo Park is the largest leisure area of the city. Besides Marina da Glória, the main venue for the Rio 2007 sailing competitions. During the Games, the marathon arrival points set up at the Flamengo Park, which will also stage the race walking and cycling road competitions. Sports. For the 2007 Games, futsal was added to the program for the first while racquetball and basque pelota were dropped.